because user identity is such a critical piece of every single service. So we want to just isolate it, make sure it has high availability. I'm Jack Chi. I'm a senior software engineer at Iterable. Our customers, your favorite brands like DoorDash, REI, Chess.com, the marketers would use Iterable's platform to find their target audience, to help them tell a story, build the brand, run promotions. The first use case at Iterable for CockroachDB is actually really simple. You can think of it as just a mapping layer of a user's identity, essentially a UUID, to a customer ID and an email. Second one, it's storing what we call journeys trigger data. It's how a visitor in a journey gets placed onto their workflow. The third one is also in journeys. It's slightly different. Is what we call the hold tile. Kind of like if you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's like, hold until. So it's the data that the service needs to understand before they can exit from this tile. Fourth one is what we're called is the embedded messaging. And it's really, if you think about like set-top boxes on TVs, it's a real-time campaign qualification. So all the transitions, the metadata, the messages, and the qualifications, all that gets stored in CockroachDB as well. So Iterable runs CockroachDB in AWS. We run it in 2 different regions, both in the US and also in the EU. But it's not like a multi-region failover. They're all completely separate. We run everything on Kubernetes on AWS's EKS, and we deploy it using Helm charts. So I would say depending on the cluster, we face different usage patterns. We monitor like CPU, memory, connections, SQL connections. And if it starts to, peak above like, 75%, 80%, then we know it's like, okay, it's time to scale up and add more nodes. Some of the major benefits for using CockroachDB from an infrastructure DevOps standpoint is really it runs on Kubernetes, and it's really easy for me to, manage a lot of the life cycles with, rolling updates, version updates, managing, keys, encryption. I really don't have to think too much about that. If you're new to CockroachDB, I would recommend quickly spinning up a free cluster, a serverless cluster, to integrate your service with it, because it takes, literally 5 minutes for me to do that.